The color drained from Corvin's face. "We won't," Daun said. Not Unel. General Corvin did not believe in human threats. He had fought in 47 wars. He had conquered 16 star systems. He had burned worlds that refused to surrender. The idea that weak, soft humans could threaten the Dalthek Empire was laughable, so he did exactly what Da-Yun said he should not do. 48 hours after the council meeting, he sent 3 warships into human space, not to the borders, not to the neutral zones, deep into human territory, to the Kepler colonies where families had just finished rebuilding after the last Dalthek raid. "They showed us data," Corvin told his officers. "Data means nothing. Talk means nothing. Only strength matters. The humans will learn this lesson." The 3 warships were heavy cruisers. Each one carried enough weapons to level a small moon. They had shields that could withstand nuclear explosions. They had crews of 800 Dalthek warriors, each one trained from birth to fight. They jumped into the Kepler system ready for battle. They found nothing. "Where are the defense platforms?" asked the captain of the lead ship. His name was Vortok, and he had served under Corvin for 20 years. "Sensors show no military presence," reported the tactical officer. "No ships, no stations, no weapon satellites," Vortok frowned. The humans knew the Dalthek were coming. They always had scouts watching the borders. So where were their defenders? "Scan the colonies," Vortok ordered. "Find their ships." The sensors swept across 3 inhabited planets and 24 orbital stations. They found cargo ships, passenger shuttles, mining vessels. No military ships at all. "They ran away," Vortok said. He laughed. "The cowards abandoned their own people." He opened a communication channel to Corvin, who was still at the Dalthek homeworld. "General, the Kepler system is undefended. The human military has fled. We can take the colonies easily." Corvin's face appeared on the screen. "Good, disable their stations. Land troops on the main colony world. We will claim this system for the Empire." "Yes, General," Vortok gave the orders. His ships moved toward the largest orbital station. It was a civilian facility home to 10,000 humans. It had no weapons, no shields. It was helpless. The weapons officer locked targeting systems on the station's engines. "Ready to fire, Captain." "Fire," Vortok said. Nothing happened. "Fire," Vortok repeated. The weapons officer pressed the controls again. Still nothing. "Captain, weapons are not responding." Vortok felt a cold touch on his spine. "Check the system," the officer ran diagnostics. "All weapon systems show ready status, but they will not fire. It is like they are locked out." "Unlock them," Vortok ordered. "I am trying, Captain. The codes are not working." Vortok stood up from his command chair. He walked to the weapons station and entered his personal override codes. The codes that only a captain could use, the codes that could not be blocked. They did not work. "This is impossible," Vortok said. Then all the lights went out. Emergency lighting kicked in after a few seconds. Red lights that made everything look like blood. The bridge crew looked around in confusion. "Report," Vortok ordered. "Main power is offline," the engineering officer said. "Backup power is running, but it is at minimal levels. Life support is working, but everything else is shutting down." "Engines?" "Offline. Shields?" "Offline. Communications?" "Offline." Vortok felt that cold touch spread through his entire body. "What about the other ships?" The sensor officer checked his displays. The sensors were still working on emergency power. "Both ships are dark, Captain. No power signatures. No emissions. They are drifting." Vortok looked at the view screen. His 3 powerful warships, the pride of the Dalthek fleet, were floating helplessly in space like dead fish. Then something appeared on the sensors. "Contact," the sensor officer said. His voice shook. "Multiple contacts. They just appeared. They were not there a second ago." "How many?" Vortok asked. 30. "No, 50. Contacts are still appearing, Captain. Over 100 now. They are surrounding us." The view screen activated on emergency power. It showed space around the Dalthek ships. Human ships appeared out of nowhere. They did not come out of jump drives. They did not fly in from somewhere else. They just appeared like ghosts becoming solid. The ships were not like the simple human vessels Vortok had seen before. These were sleek black, covered in sharp angles that seemed to absorb light. They moved with perfect precision, forming a sphere around the disabled Dalthek cruisers. One ship was larger than the others. It positioned itself directly in front of Vortok's vessel. Slowly, a communication channel opened. The Dalthek could not send messages out, but they could receive them. A face appeared on the screen. A human woman in a military uniform. She was young, maybe 30 years old. Her expression was calm and cold. "I am Admiral G1 of the Earth Defense Fleet," she said. "Your ships have been disabled. Your weapons are locked. Your engines are offline. You are helpless," Vortok wanted to argue, wanted to threaten. But he knew she was right. His ships were completely helpless. "We could destroy you," G1 continued. "Right now, easily. Your shields are down. Your armor means nothing to our weapons. 800 warriors on each of your ships would die in seconds," she paused. "We will not do that. We do not kill helplessly people, even our enemies. That is the difference between us and you." Vortok watched as smaller human ships approached his cruisers. They attached to the hulls with docking clamps. "We are boarding your ships," G1 said. "Do not resist. Your weapons will not work. Your armor will not protect you. If you fight, you will die. If you surrender, you will live." Vortok heard sounds through the ship. Cutting tools. Hatches opening. Footsteps in the corridors. "All crew," he said over the internal communication system. "Stand down. Do not engage the humans." He hated saying those words. But he was not stupid. His ships were dead. His weapons were useless. Fighting would only get his crew killed. Human soldiers came onto the bridge. They wore black armor that covered them completely. They carried weapons that looked simple but moved with perfect efficiency. Within minutes, they had secured the bridge without firing a single shot. One soldier approached Vortok. "Admiral G1 wants to speak with you in person. Come with us." They took Vortok to a shuttle. It flew to the large human command ship. He was brought to the bridge. Admiral G1 stood near the captain's chair. She was smaller than Vortok, like all humans were small compared to Dalthek, but she did not seem weak. She seemed like a coiled spring ready to unleash. "General Corvin sent you here to test us," G1 said. It was not a question. Vortok said nothing. "We disabled your ships using systems we installed in Dalthek computers years ago," G1 continued. "Dayun told you we could do this. You did not believe her. Now you know she told the truth." She walked closer to Vortok. "Your ships are intact. Your crew is alive. We will return everything to you. But first you need to understand something." She gestured to the view screen. It showed the space around them. Over 100 human warships floated in perfect formation. "This is just one battle group," G1 said. "We have 50 more, scattered throughout human space, each one more powerful than your entire fleet." Vortok stared at the ships. They did not look like the simple vessels humans had arrived in 18 years ago. These were weapons of war, advanced, deadly, hidden. "Where did these come from?" Vortok asked. "We have watched your shipyards. We know your industrial capacity. You cannot build ships like this." G1 smiled slightly. "You watched the shipyards we wanted you to watch, the factories we wanted you to see. While you were watching those, we built these somewhere else." She pulled up a hologram. It showed a massive facility hidden in deep space, far from any star system. "We started building this facility 30 years ago. Before we even met you, before we knew anything about the Dalthek Empire. We built it because we knew the galaxy would be dangerous." The hologram showed ships being constructed, thousands of them. "We have been preparing for war since the day we left Earth. Not because we wanted war, because we knew it might come anyway." Vortok felt something he had not felt in decades. Fear. "Why show me this?" he asked. "Because you need to take a message back to General Corvin," G1 said. "Tell him what you saw here. Tell him how easily we disabled your ships. Tell him about our fleet. Tell him everything." She looked directly into Vortok's eyes. "And tell him this is his last warning. The next time Dalthek ships enter human space, we will not just disable them. We will take them. The ships, the technology, everything. And we will use that technology to make ourselves stronger." She gestured to her soldiers. "Take Captain Vortok back to his ship. Restore power to all 3 vessels. Let them leave." Vortok was escorted back to the shuttle. As they flew back to his cruiser, he looked at the human warships surrounding them. Perfect formation. Perfect discipline. Perfect technology. When he returned to his bridge, systems were already coming back online. Power restored. Weapons unlocked. Engines functional. The humans had disabled everything remotely. Now they were enabling everything the same way. "All ships," Vortok said over the communication channel. "Set course for home." "Maximum speed, Captain," his first officer said quietly. "What do we tell the general?" Vortok watched the human ships on his view screen. They did not move. They just watched the Daltek cruisers prepare to leave. "We tell him the truth," Vortok said. "The Huma. We will share knowledge. We will contribute to galactic civilization." His voice grew colder. "But if attacked, we will defend ourselves." 7 days passed. 7 days of chaos in the Galactic Council. Delegates argued constantly. Some wanted to impose sanctions on Earth. Others wanted to form alliances with the humans. A few suggested attacking Earth before they became too powerful. But nobody moved. Nobody acted. Because everyone was afraid. On the 8th day, something changed in the Daltek Empire. General Corvin was arrested by his own government. The charges were mismanagement, incompetence, and bringing dishonor to the Empire. In truth, the Daltek leadership was terrified. Corvin had started a conflict with humans that the Empire could not win. Now someone had to take the blame. The new Daltek military commander was General Haven. She was younger than Corvin, more cautious and much smarter. Her first act was to send a message to Earth. It was a simple message. "We wish to talk." Hyunwoo received the message in his office on Earth's orbital station. He read it 3 times. Then he called Da-un. "The Daltek want to negotiate," he said. "Of course they do," Da-un replied. "They finally understand they have no other choice." "Should we meet with them?" "Yes, but not yet. Let them wait. Let them worry. Fear is useful," so Earth waited. For 3 more days, they ignored the Daltek request. During that time, more messages came. From the Telvanni Empire, from the Harvian system, from the Rillian Collective. Everyone wanted to talk. Everyone wanted to establish better relations with Earth. On the 11th day, Hyunwoo returned to the Galactic Council. The chamber was packed. Every species wanted to hear what Earth would say. Hyunwoo stood on the speaking floor. He looked different than the last time he was here. More confident. Less patient. He did not look like someone begging for help anymore. "Earth has received many messages," he said. "Requests for meetings, offers of friendship, promises of cooperation. We appreciate these gestures." He paused. "But words are easy. Actions matter more. Earth has been patient for 18 years. We have followed your laws. We have played by your rules. We have asked politely for the respect we deserved. We were ignored." The chamber was silent. No one interrupted him. "So Earth changed tactics," Hyunwoo continued. "We showed you what we can do. We showed you our technology, our intelligence, our capabilities. Not because we wanted to threaten you, because you refused to listen to anything else." He looked around at all the delegates. "Now you listen. Now you want to talk. Now you offer friendship. Why? Because you are afraid. Fear has accomplished what diplomacy could not." A delegate from the Harvian system spoke up. "Are you saying Earth rules through fear now? That makes you no different from tyrants." "No," Hyunwoo said. "Earth does not rule anyone. We do not want subjects. We do not want territory beyond our own borders. We do not want to conquer the galaxy. We just want to be left alone." "Then why show such aggressive technology?" asked the Telvanni delegate. "Because being left alone requires being strong enough that attacking us costs more than it is worth," Hyunwoo said. "That is not tyranny. That is basic logic. The galaxy respects strength, so we showed you our strength." The council speaker made a gesture. "What does Earth want from this council now?" "Simple things," Hyunwoo said. "Respect, fair treatment, equal voice in decisions. The same things we asked for 18 years ago. The same things we have always wanted." He pulled up a hologram. It showed a formal document. "Earth proposes a new treaty. Any attack on human territory will be treated as an attack on all council members. Any attack on council members will be met with Earth's defensive capabilities. We will protect not just ourselves, but others who cannot protect themselves." Several delegates looked surprised. This was not what they expected. "You would defend other species?" asked the Rillian delegate. "If they are willing to defend us in return," Hyunwoo said. "That is what alliances mean. True alliances, not empty words." General Haven's platform moved forward. The new Daltek commander looked nervous. Earth would ally with the Daltek Empire? After everything that has happened? If the Daltek Empire respects human sovereignty, ends all hostile actions, and provides compensation for the lives lost, then yes, Hyunwoo said. Earth does not hold grudges. We are practical. The past is done. What matters is the future. He looked directly at Havan. But understand this. If the Dalthek attack humans again, there will be no more warnings, no more demonstrations, no more disabled ships returned safely. There will only be consequences. Havan lowered her head slightly. For a Dalthek warrior, it was a gesture of respect. The Empire understands. We wish to pursue peace. Good, Hyunwoo said. Then let us talk about what peace looks like. Over the next 3 hours, Hyunwoo outlined Earth's proposal. It was comprehensive, fair, but firm. Earth would share some of its technology with the galactic community, medical advances that could save lives, energy systems that were cleaner and more efficient, agricultural techniques that could feed hungry populations. But military technology would remain secret. Defensive capabilities would stay hidden. Earth would protect its advantages. In return, Earth wanted equal representation in the Council, full voting rights, the ability to veto decisions that affected human territory, fair trade agreements, freedom to expand into unclaimed systems, all the rights that older empires took for granted. This seems reasonable, said the speaker. But Earth has one thing that concerns this Council. Your military capabilities are far beyond what we expected. How do we know you will not use them aggressively? Because we have had these capabilities for years and never used them aggressively, Hyunwoo said. We could have attacked any empire in this chamber. We could have taken territory by force. We could have established an empire of our own. We chose not to. Our actions speak louder than your fears. Daun stepped onto the speaking floor next to Hyunwoo. The Council is also welcome to inspect human facilities. Under controlled conditions with proper security, we will allow observers to visit our shipyards, our colonies, our defensive installations. Transparency can build trust. But you will not share your most advanced technology? Asked the Viridian analyst. Would you? Daeun asked. If you developed something that gave you a critical advantage, would you give it away freely? Especially to potential enemies? The analyst hesitated, then shook his head. No, I would not. Then you understand our position, Daun said. Earth will share what we can, but we will protect what we must. The debate continued for hours. Some delegates supported Earth's proposal. Others remained suspicious. But slowly, gradually a consensus formed. By the end of the day, the Council voted. Earth's new treaty was approved by a wide margin. Not unanimous, a few empires still opposed it. But enough to make it official. Earth was no longer a minor species begging for recognition. Earth was now a major power in galactic politics. Hyunwoo left the Council chamber with Daun. They walked through the long corridors of the Council station together. Do you think they will keep the treaty? Daun asked. Some will, Hyunwoo said. Others will test us again eventually. But now they know the cost of testing us. That changes everything. We showed them fear, but is fear enough to maintain peace? Hyunwoo thought about that. Fear is a start. But we also showed them value. Our technology can help them. Our alliances can protect them. Fear makes them hesitate. Value makes them cooperate. Together, those two things might be enough. They reached the docking bay where their ship waited. Admiral Ji-won stood at the entrance. She had been waiting for them. The fleet is ready, Ji-won said. What are our orders? Stand down, Hyunwoo said. Return to normal patrol status. The crisis is over. Ji-won nodded, but she looked troubled. We prepared for war. We are still prepared. What if they attack again? Then we fight, Hyunwoo said simply. But until then we return to peace. That was always the goal. The three of them boarded the ship. As they left the Council station, Hyunwoo looked back at the massive structure. So many species. So many cultures. So much potential for cooperation or conflict. Do you think we did the right thing? Daeun asked. Revealing our capabilities? We lost our element of surprise. We lost one advantage but gained another, Hyunwoo said. Now they know what we can do. They will think twice before attacking. And we can focus on building instead of hiding. Building what? A better future. For humans and everyone else, Ji-won smiled slightly. That sounds optimistic. Almost naive. Maybe, Hyunwoo said. But humans have been fighting for thousands of years. We are good at it, too good. Now we have a chance to be good at something else. I would like to try. Their ship jumped into slipspace, heading back toward Earth. Behind them, the Galactic Council continued to debate and discuss. The galaxy was changing. Power structures were shifting. New alliances were forming. On Earth, people celebrated. The news spread quickly. Humanity was no longer weak, no longer ignored, no longer alone. In the Daltec Empire, General Havan met with her advisors. They discussed how to rebuild relations with Earth, how to avoid future conflicts, how to adapt to a galaxy where humans were equals, not victims. In the Telvanni Empire, researchers studied the technical data Earth had shared, medical technology that could cure diseases, energy systems that could power entire planets. The humans had given them gifts even after being TS with. The Galactic Council met in emergency session. Representatives from every major empire filled the chamber. Everyone had heard what happened in the Kepler system. The story had spread across the galaxy in hours. 3 Daltec warships completely disabled without a shot fired. A hidden human fleet appearing from nowhere. Technology that could shut down military systems remotely. The peaceful, weak humans had revealed themselves to be something else entirely. Panic rippled through the galaxy's power structure. Captain Sungmin stood on the speaking floor. He was not a diplomat like Hyunwoo. He was a military officer who had spent 15 years in Earth's intelligence division. He wore a simple uniform with no decorations. His face showed no expression. The council requested Earth explain recent events, Sungmin said. His voice was flat, professional. I am here to provide that explanation. You attacked Daltec ship, said a delegate from the Harvian system. That is an act of war. We disabled them, Sungmin corrected. We did not destroy them. We did not harm their crews. We allowed them to leave unharmed. If that is war, then war has very different meanings for humans than it does for you. General Corvin's platform moved forward aggressively. He had been quiet since his ships returned. Now he spoke with barely controlled rage. You violated the terms of galactic peace. You used technology that has not been registered with the Council. You revealed military capabilities without proper documentation. These are all violations of treaty. Sungmin looked up at Corvin calmly. General, your ships entered sovereign human territory with weapons armed and hostile intent. They approached civilian stations and prepared to attack. That is also a violation of treaty. Which violation concerns the Council more? The chamber filled with noise. Delegates argued among themselves. The Council speaker made a gesture for silence. Earth will explain how it developed this technology. All military capabilities must be registered with the Council. This is law. That law applies to technology developed after joining the galactic community, Sungmin said. It does not apply to technology we already had. Impossible, said the Viridian analyst. Human technology was primitive when you joined. We scanned your ships. We examined your systems. Everything was basic. You scanned the ships we wanted you to scan, Sungmin said. You examined the systems we wanted you to examine. He activated a hologram. It showed Earth's first contact with alien species 18 years ago. A small exploration ship meeting a Rillian trader. This was our first contact, Sungmin said. A science vessel exploring beyond our solar system. It had basic engines, simple weapons, standard communications. Exactly what you would expect from a young species taking its first steps into the galaxy. The hologram zoomed in on the human ship. Sungmin highlighted several sections. But this ship also had advanced sensors. Quantum encryption, stealth systems that could hide it from almost any scan. We used those systems to watch the Rillian trader, to learn about your technology, to understand your capabilities. He changed the image. It showed the next year of human expansion. Small ships exploring nearby systems, building colonies, trading with other species. All of them appeared simple and peaceful. During this time we learned everything about the galaxy, Sungmin said. Your languages, your cultures, your technologies, your military strengths and weaknesses. We watched. We listened. We prepared. A delegate from the Telvanni Empire stood up. You spied on everyone from the beginning. This is treachery. This is survival, Sungmin said. His voice remained calm but grew harder. We came into a galaxy full of empires thousands of years old. Some of them friendly, some of them hostile. We had no way to know which was which, so we protected ourselves. He brought up more images. These showed human colony ships. Every colony we built had 2 purposes. One was civilian, farming, mining, research, trade. The other was military. Hidden shipyards, weapons platforms, defense networks, all hidden from your sensors. This deception is unacceptable, the speaker said. Is it? Sungmin asked. He looked around at all the delegates. Every empire here has secrets. Every empire here hides military capabilities. Every empire here spies on its neighbors. The only difference is that humans are apparently better at it than you are. The chamber erupted in angry sounds. Several delegates shouted insults. Others called for sanctions against Earth. Sungmin waited for the noise to quiet. Then he continued, "But deception is not why I am here. I am here to show you the truth, all of it, because Earth is done hiding." He activated another hologram. This one was different. It showed detailed technical specifications, weapon systems, ship designs, energy sources, advanced technologies that made the delegates lean forward in their seats. "This is our quantum interference system," Sungmin said. "It can disable electronic systems remotely. The same technology we used on the Daltec ships. Here is how it works." He explained the technology in detail. The physics behind it, the engineering, the limitations, everything. "Why are you showing us this?" asked the Rillian delegate. "You are giving away your greatest advantage." "Because it is not our greatest advantage," Sungmin said. He brought up more technical data. "This is our stealth technology. It bends light and sensor waves around our ships, making them invisible. Here is our slipspace drive, which is faster and more efficient than your jump drives. Here is our shield technology, our weapon systems, our manufacturing processes. All of it, every secret." The Viridian analyst studied the data frantically. "This is decades ahead of our technology. How did you develop this?" "We did not develop it recently," Sungmin said. "We developed it over centuries. While you were exploring the galaxy, Earth was fighting itself. World wars, nuclear weapons, biological attacks. For thousands of years, humans fought humans. We learned how to kill efficiently, how to defend desperately, how to survive against overwhelming odds." He paused. "By the time we developed space travel, we had technology specifically designed for war. Not because we wanted war. Because war was all we knew." Another image appeared. It showed Earth's history. Cities burning, mushroom clouds rising, millions dying, then slowly, painfully, humanity learning to work together, ending wars, building peace, reaching for the stars. "We brought all of that history with us," Sungmin said. "All of that pain, all of that knowledge, all of those weapons. And when we met the galaxy, we chose to hide it. We chose to appear weak. We chose to pursue peace. Why?" the speaker asked. "Because we had seen where violence leads," Sungmin said. "We had watched our own world nearly destroy itself. We did not want to bring that destruction to the galaxy, so we tried your way, diplomacy, law, council discussions." His expression hardened. "But the galaxy mistook our peace for weakness. The Daltec attacked us. Others tested our borders. Pirates raided our ships, and when we asked for help, the council ignored us." He looked directly at the speaker. "So now we show you what we really are. Not to threaten you, not to start a war, but to make sure you understand. Earth wants peace, but Earth will have peace on its own terms, not on yours." Researcher Da-Yun entered the chamber. She walked to stand next to Sungmin on the speaking floor. She carried a datapad. "Captain Sungmin has shown you our military technology," Da-Yun said. "Now I will show you everything else." She activated the datapad. New images filled the holographic displays. These were not weapons. These were economic networks, trade routes, resource data, communication systems. "Earth has been mapping the galaxy's entire infrastructure," Da-Yun said. "Not just military targets, everything. We know how food moves between systems, how currency flows through banks, how information travels through networks, how power is distributed on inhabited worlds." She brought up specific examples. "The Harvian system depends on grain imports from the Kelvin colonies. Those colonies depend on machine parts from the Telvanni Empire. The Telvanni depend on rare minerals from Daltec space. The Daltec depend on fuel refineries in the Viridian sector. Everything is connected." The delegates watched the data with growing alarm. "We have identified every critical connection in the galactic economy," Da-Yun continued. "Every choke point, every dependency, every vulnerability. Not to exploit them, not to cause harm, but to understand the system we are part of." She looked around at all the representatives. "And to make sure you understand something important. If war comes to the galaxy, humans will not just fight military battles. We will disrupt your economies. We will cut your supply lines. We will isolate your systems. We will turn your own infrastructure against you, all without killing anyone. That would cause mass starvation," said the Harvian delegate. "Billions would die." "Yes," Da-Yun said simply. "Just as billions of humans would die if the Daltec destroyed our colonies. just as 5,000 already died when they destroyed the New Dawn. You seem comfortable with human deaths. We want you to understand that war has consequences for everyone. General Corvin stood up. All 4 of his arms were shaking. This is terrorism. This is threatening innocent civilians. No, Dayun said. This is deterrence. We are showing you what we could do, so we never have to do it. That is the entire point. Sung-min stepped forward again. Earth has prepared for every possibility. If left in peace, we will be peaceful neighbors. We will trade fairly. The data chip sat on the council floor for 3 minutes before anyone touched it. Finally, a maintenance drone picked it up and brought it to the speaker's platform. The speaker inserted it into the council's main computer system. Lines of numbers filled the holographic displays. Coordinates in 3-dimensional space. Timestamps down to the millisecond. Nothing else. No explanations. No threats. No demands. What does this mean? Asked a delegate from the Rillian Collective. The Rillians were traders, always trying to understand information that might affect their business. It appears to be location data, said the council's head analyst. He was a Viridian, a species known for their mathematical abilities. His 3 eyes moved independently as he studied the numbers. These coordinates correspond to locations throughout Daltec space. Corvin's platform moved forward aggressively. The humans dare to map our territory? This is an act of espionage. This proves they are preparing for war. Let us see what they have mapped, the speaker said. The Viridian analyst began processing the data. The hologram changed. It showed a 3-dimensional map of the Daltec Empire. Hundreds of points appeared glowing in red. The analyst's eyes widened. All 3 of them. These are not random locations, he said slowly. These are military installations. Every single one. Major shipyards, fleet headquarters, weapons platforms, supply depots, command centers. The chamber fell silent again. This was a different kind of silence than before. This silence had weight. They have mapped our entire military infrastructure, Corvin said. His voice was no longer booming. It was quiet, almost confused. How? Our security protocols are perfect. No spy could gather this information. The analyst continued working. More data appeared. There are timestamps next to each location. These appear to be scheduling data. Ship movements, change of command dates, maintenance cycles, supply deliveries. A cold feeling spread through the chamber. Delegates began whispering to each other. This is impossible, Corvin said. Our ship movements are encrypted with quantum codes. Our command rotations are decided only hours before they happen. Our supply chains use random paths. And yet, the speaker said quietly, Earth has predicted all of it. The hologram zoomed in on one particular coordinate. It showed the flagship of the Daltec fleet, the pride of Corvin, General Corvin's personal warship. Next to it was a schedule, Corvin's own schedule, where he would be, when he would be there, down to specific rooms on specific ships on specific dates. That is classified information, Corvin said. His voice shook slightly. Only my personal staff knows my schedule. They are all loyal. They would die before betraying the Empire. Perhaps, the speaker said, they did not need to betray you. The Viridian analyst brought up more data. There are also personal coordinates here. Addresses of government officials, locations of their families, travel routes, daily routines. A delegate from the Harvian system gasped. They have been watching everything. Not just military targets, everything. For how long? The speaker asked. The analyst checked the timestamps. Based on the data collection dates embedded in the file, this information spans at least 15 years. Some of it goes back 20 years. 20 years? Corvin stood up on his platform. His forearms clenched into fists. That is impossible. Humans have only been in this sector for 18 years. When they arrived, we scanned their ships. They had basic engines, simple weapons, nothing sophisticated. Apparently, the speaker said, they had other things that were not so simple. Another delegate spoke up. This one was from the Telvanni Empire, rivals of the Daltec. Let us see if Earth has mapped our territory as well. The analyst searched through the data. He found another section. It showed Telvanni military installations, also complete, also detailed, also with schedules and predictions. He checked further. Every major empire in the galaxy was in that file. Not just locations, not just military data, everything, government buildings, research facilities. communication networks, power plants, defense grids, and all of it was accurate. The analyst spot-checked several data points against known information. Everything matched perfectly. They have been watching all of us, the speaker said. Not just the Daltec, everyone. The chamber exploded with noise. Delegates shouted, some in anger, some in fear. The peaceful humans, the weak humans, the humans who begged for help had been spying on the entire galaxy. Corvin's voice cut through the chaos. This is not just espionage. This is preparation for war. They have gathered intelligence on every major power. They know our weaknesses. They have planned attacks. Perhaps, said a quiet voice. Everyone turned. The voice belonged to Da-Yun, the head of Earth's intelligence service. She had entered the chamber during the chaos. Nobody had noticed her arrive. She walked slowly to the center floor where Hyunwoo had stood. She was small, even for a human. She wore simple gray clothes. She looked more like a teacher than a spy. You were not scheduled to speak today, the speaker said. Ambassador Hyunwoo left the data, Da-Yun said. I came to make sure you understood it. We understand perfectly, Corvin said. Humans are preparing to attack the galaxy. This data proves it, Da-Yun smiled. It was not a warm smile. General Corvin, if we wanted to attack you, you would already be dead. The chamber went silent again. That is a threat, Corvin said. No, Da-Yun said. It is a fact. Look at the data again. Really look at it. The Viridian analyst focused on the displays. He processed the information differently, looking for patterns. His eyes widened again. Oh no, what is it? The speaker asked. The timestamps, the analyst said. They are not predictions. They are confirmations. This data shows real-time tracking. Current positions. Earth is watching all of this right now. As it happens, Da-Yun nodded. We know where every major warship in the galaxy is at this exact moment. We know where your leaders sleep. We know where your children go to school. We know which ships are carrying weapons and which are carrying food. We know which systems are defended and which are vulnerable. She walked slowly around the chamber floor. We have known all of this for years. We have watched you. We have learned your patterns. We have found your weaknesses, and we have done nothing with that information. Why? The speaker asked. The question was simple but heavy. Because we do not want war, Da-Yun said. We came to the galaxy looking for friends, for trade partners, for knowledge. We came in peace because we wanted peace. Then why gather this intelligence? Asked the Rillian delegate. Because we are not stupid, Da-Yun said. Her voice was still calm but harder now. We knew the galaxy was dangerous. We knew we were new and weak and alone. So we protected ourselves the only way we could. We watched. We learned. We prepared. She stopped walking and looked up at Corvin's platform. And we waited. We waited for the galaxy to accept us. We waited for the council to treat us fairly. We waited for empires like the Daltec to leave us alone. You spied on us, Corvin said. Yes, Da-Yun said simply. Just as you have spies in human space. Just as every empire here spies on every other empire. The difference is that our spies are better than yours. The chamber filled with angry sounds. Several delegates stood up shouting. Da-Yun raised her voice slightly. We gave you this data for a reason. We wanted you to understand. Earth has been patient. Earth has followed your laws. Earth has begged for your help, and Earth has been ignored, insulted, attacked. She pulled out another data chip. Ambassador Hyunwoo showed you coordinates and schedules. That was a warning. This is what comes next if the warnings are ignored. She activated the chip. The hologram changed. It showed something new. Technical specifications, weapons designs, shield frequencies, network vulnerabilities. These are the weaknesses in Daltec military systems, Da-Yun said. Every backdoor, every flaw, every way to disable, disrupt, or destroy their infrastructure without firing a single shot. The Viridian analyst studied the data. His hands shook as he worked. This is complete. This would give anyone the ability to shut down the entire Daltec military network. Not just Daltec, Da-Yun said. We have this information for every empire here. We could crash your economies, disable your ships, turn off your power grids, make your weapons useless, all without killing anyone. She looked around at all the delegates. We have had this capability for years. We have never used it. We will never use it unless we have no choice. Why show us this? The speaker asked. Because 5,000 of our people died 2 weeks ago. Dawen said. Her voice finally showed emotion, anger, grief. Because General Corvin murdered civilians and laughed about it. Because this council did nothing. Because the galaxy thinks humans are weak. She stood in the center of the floor, small and alone. We are not weak. We are patient. But our patience is not infinite. She placed the data chip on the floor next to where Hyunwoo had placed his. Earth is done begging. Earth is done asking for help. From this moment forward, we protect ourselves. She turned to leave, then stopped. One more thing. General Corvin, your flagship has been in orbit around your homeworld for 3 days. You think it is safe there? You think your planetary shields will protect it? Corvin stood up. Our shields are impenetrable. Dawen smiled that cold smile again. Your shields have had a hidden access code in their operating system for 16 years. We put it there. We can turn them off whenever we want. Hyunwoo stood in the center of the massive council chamber. The room was built for giants, not humans. Above him, floating platforms held the representatives of 200 alien species. Some had scales, some had fur. Others were just clouds of gas held together by force fields. They all looked down at him. He was alone on the speaking floor. The marble beneath his feet was cold, even through his shoes. The air smelled strange, like copper and flowers mixed together. He had been to this place 12 times before. Each time, he asked for help. Each time, they ignored him. Today would be no different. The Daltic Empire has crossed into human space again, Hyunwoo said. His voice was calm and clear. 3 days ago, they entered the neutral zone near the Kepler colonies. They fired on our patrol ships. 7 humans died. A delegate from the upper platforms made a sound like grinding rocks. It was laughter. Hyunwoo recognized the Vorthan representative. The Vorthan were old, powerful, and they thought humans were nothing. Young species always complain, the Vorthan said. You have been in space for only 200 years. The Daltek have ruled their sector for 10,000. Perhaps you entered their territory by mistake. Hyunwoo pulled out a data pad. He pressed a button. A hologram appeared in the air above him. It showed a map of space. Red lines marked human territory. Blue lines marked Daltek space. A green zone sat between them, the neutral zone. Everyone had agreed to leave it empty. The attack happened here, Hyunwoo said. He pointed to a spot deep in the green zone, 60 light-years from the nearest Daltek world. This was not a mistake. Another delegate spoke. This one looked like a floating jellyfish made of light. The Daltek are warriors. Warriors test boundaries. This is natural. Your species should understand this. We understand it, Hyunwoo said. That is why we bring it to the council. We ask for sanctions. We ask for observers to be placed in the neutral zone. We ask for accountability. The chamber filled with sounds, clicks, hums, growls. The aliens were talking among themselves. Hyunwoo waited. He had learned to wait. Finally, the council speaker activated its platform. The speaker was a Talmech, a species that looked like a combination of an insect and a flower. Its voice came through translation devices that everyone wore. The Galactic Council has heard Earth's complaint, the speaker said. However, the Council cannot act on small border incidents. 7 deaths, while unfortunate, do not constitute an act of war. We recommend that Earth and the Daltek Empire work out their differences through direct negotiation. Hyunwoo felt his jaw tighten. He kept his face neutral. The Daltek refused to negotiate. We have sent 43 requests for meetings. They have ignored all of them. Then perhaps Earth should reconsider its position in that region, another delegate said. This one was Daltek, General Corvin, the military representative. He was huge, covered in thick armor-like skin, with 4 arms and burning orange eyes. Are you suggesting we abandon our colonies? Hyunwoo asked. I am suggesting that weak species should not claim territory they cannot defend, Corvin said. His voice was like thunder. Humans are soft. You have no honor. You hide behind councils and laws because you cannot fight. The chamber erupted in more noise. Some delegates seemed to agree. Others remained silent. None spoke in Earth's defense. Hyunwoo took a slow breath. He had expected this. He looked up at Corvin's platform. "We can fight," Hyunwoo said quietly. "We choose not to." Corvin laughed. It was a horrible sound. Choosing not to fight is the excuse of cowards. The Daltec Empire takes what it wants. If Earth cannot stop us, then Earth deserves to lose. The council speaker made a gesture. "General Corvin, please maintain diplomatic language." "I speak truth," Corvin said. "The humans cry to this council every month. They complain about border crossings. They complain about trade disputes. They complain about everything. But they do nothing. They are like children begging adults for protection." Hyunwoo felt something cold settle in his chest. He had done this job for 5 years. 5 years of standing in this chamber. 5 years of asking for justice. 5 years of being laughed at. He thought about the people on those patrol ships. He knew their names. He had written letters to their families. "The council will take your complaint under advisement," the speaker said. "This session is concluded." "Wait," Hyunwoo said. "There is more." The speaker paused. "Proceed." 2 weeks ago, a Daltec battle group stopped a human colony ship. The ship was called the New Dawn. It was carrying 5,000 people, families, children, scientists, teachers. They were going to establish a new settlement on Kepler 442b. The planet is well within human territory. The chamber grew quieter. Some delegates leaned forward on their platforms. "The Daltec demanded tribute," Hyunwoo continued. "They wanted the ship's cargo. When the captain refused, they opened fire. The New Dawn had no weapons. It was a civilian vessel. They destroyed it completely. All 5,000 people are dead." Silence filled the massive chamber. Even the usual background hum of translation devices seemed to fade. Corvin's platform moved forward. The ship entered a restricted military zone. They were warned to leave. They refused. The consequences were appropriate. "Kepler 442b is 200 light-years from any Daltec military installation," Hyunwoo said. His voice was still calm, but something had changed in it. Something harder. "There is no restricted zone. You murdered 5,000 civilians." "Prove it," Corvin said. Hyunwoo pulled up another hologram. It showed the flight path of the New Dawn. It showed the location of the attack. It showed there were no Daltec military zones anywhere nearby. "This is your proof?" Corvin laughed again. "Data can be altered. Humans are known liars." "The council has our full sensor records," Hyunwoo said. "Independent observers can verify everything." The speaker made a humming sound. "The council will review the evidence. This will take time. Perhaps several months." "Several months?" Hyunwoo felt heat rise in his face. 5,000 people are dead. The Daltec admit they destroyed the ship. What is there to review? "Proper procedure must be followed," the speaker said. "The council cannot act hastily on such serious accusations." Hyunwoo looked around the chamber. He saw indifference. He saw amusement. He saw ancient species who had played these games for thousands of years. They saw Earth as entertainment. A young species learning how the galaxy really worked. None of them cared about the 5,000 dead humans. "I see," Hyunwoo said softly. He reached into his jacket and pulled out a small data chip. He held it up so the cameras could see it. "Earth has one final message for this council," he said. "And for the Daltec Empire." He placed the chip on the marble floor. It projected a hologram. Just a single line of text with numbers below it. The numbers were coordinates, dates, times, nothing else. "What is this?" the speaker asked. "Earth's response," Hyunwoo said. He turned and walked toward the exit. His footsteps echoed in the silent chamber. "Ambassador, you must explain this message," the speaker called after him. Hyunwoo stopped at the door. He looked back one last time. "No," he said. "We don't." Then he left. Behind him, the delegates began to argue. They demanded explanations. They called it disrespectful. They called it meaningless. Corvin's voice boomed above the others. "Humans play games they cannot win. The Dalthek Empire will continue to expand, and Earth will learn its place. Hyun-woo heard none of it. He was already in the corridor, walking toward his ship. He had delivered Earth's final warning. Now it was up to others to make the next move.